So I was looking at this list that's going around, doing the rounds on social media that everyone's talking about, right? And it's basically a list that supposedly a group of ladies, right, have made about places men shouldn't take them on the first date. It says at the top, here is a list of places women absolutely refuse to go on a first date, and thank you to the ladies who reached out to help me on my list. So you can see where it says Cheesecake Factory is obviously number one, obviously because of the viral video that was going around not too long ago, like last week or whenever, a week or two ago, of the whole Cheesecake Factory thing. Like, when you look through this list, practically every type of place that is reasonable for a guy to take a woman on for a date is on here. Now, I'm going to tell you from my experience, and again, I'm not in America, but I'm going to tell you from my experience, just dealing with Western women and some foreign women. There's two things guys need to understand about a list like this, okay? And it's something that goes wider than just this list. It goes really for any type of list a woman makes. Like if she says, oh, I'm not gonna put up with this behavior from a guy, or a guy can't be wearing this, or a guy, you know, shouldn't do XYZ, whatever she says guys shouldn't do, whatever types of rules or stipulations or standards she tries to put out there and impose, something that guys need to understand is that shit for the most part falls by the wayside if the woman likes you enough. That's what you need to recognize. Now, let me be clear. There are some women who will just, no matter what, stick to their guns, but it is rare. It is rare. Neither sex really truly sticks to their standards when something that they, or someone they desire, is in front of them. That's just the truth, right? Like, at the end of the day, if the woman looks at a guy and she finds him attractive enough, he can say any one of these places on this list and she's going. Period. It doesn't matter what she might say right now, or they'll write this list. Yeah, and this is the thing that a lot of guys have got to understand, right? When they are composing a list like this, there's a certain type of man they're thinking about when they're making this list. And I can assure you, it's not the guys that they desire. I promise you it's not. Now, what's interesting is that some of them might be thinking of the guy they desire. Like a very small number of them might be thinking of like their ideal man, and they might think, oh, he's not going to take me to this, or he's not going to take me to that. But it's all fantasy, it's all make-believe, okay? Because in reality, if a guy that they really like is standing in front of them, they're not about to completely fuck the whole shit up over the fact that he says, let's go to Chipotle, or let's go to, you know, Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, let me be very clear. She might in the back of her mind be like, I'd rather not. But she ain't about to dash that dude to the side just because of that. If anything, she's gonna tell herself, all right, let's just see how it goes. In other words, she'll make an excuse. Probably 85 to 90, if not 95% of the chicks that will be reposting this image, I guarantee they've all gone on dates to these places. And there's probably dudes following them or that they're following who are looking at that shit like, bitch, I literally took you to one of these places or a few of these places. What are you talking about? Why are you acting brand new, right? So for her to turn around now and say, yeah, I'm not going there, this is just another one of the issues with women who have baggage or who have an extensive dating history, is that if you get to that woman late in the game, like once she's already had a lot of experience, the problem with that is this is the type of shit you gotta deal with. Her coming out here with these stipulations like, oh, I'm not gonna do XYZ, because she's probably been with dudes who took her to these places. She felt like, oh, you know, he cheated on me, or, you know, he wasn't taking me serious, or whatever the fuck. It could have been all her that fucked it up, but she'll still blame the guy, right? Whichever it is, the point is that she'll have baggage and she'll look at these types of things as like beneath her standards now, because she's new now. She's not, that was when she was young and dumb and blah 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 blah. Even if she is young herself, right, she might look at it. And that's another problem, is that you got girls who don't even have much dating experience or no dating experience, and they're coming out with all this stuff like, you know, he can't do this, he can't do that, The first thing, as I said, that you guys need to understand is that most of this shit is cap if the woman desires you. That's the first thing you need to understand. But the second thing that I want you to take away from this is that lists like this are brilliant. They are a blessing in disguise, and let me tell you why. This list is just like the Barbie movie. You might be thinking, what the fuck do you mean it's like the Barbie movie? The Barbie movie was a blessing in disguise too for men. You know why? Because it's a filter. It's a filter, okay? This list, like the Barbie movie, is something you can use to vet a woman. Because what's really interesting is that any woman who actually takes a list like this serious, who actually genuinely buys into this, who believes in this, she is not relationship material. There's no way around it. Like, there is no way, because that is a woman who cannot be satisfied. Like, there is damn near everything you could reasonably think of on this list. Like, seriously. There is damn near, like, anything that's reasonable for a first date. Like, these motherfuckers aren't talking about, like, your honeymoon or your anniversary, or, like, they're talking about the first date. Like, you don't even know this motherfucker. You're getting to know them. You know what I'm saying? Now, what's really interesting, and I don't know if they just didn't really think to put this on here, but you know something that's not on this list, right? Going for a walk. I would assume it would be option 29, right? I would assume it would be number 29. But it's interesting that going for a walk's not on here. Everything's just eating. It's all about who you go with, man. It's not about where you're going so much, because you can go to some amazing place, but if the vibe ain't fucking there, what's it gonna matter? And girls know that more than anyone. They know that more than anyone. But you see, this is the goofiness in what they do. This is the goofy games that they play, because you could, like, some guys might look at this and be like, okay, I can't do any of these things on the list. It's a shit test. And if you go with the mentality of, I can't do these things now because they said I can't, you're exactly the type of sucker that they're trying to line up. And ironically, the type of guy who takes a list like this seriously is the only type of guy that they are going to make adhere to a list like this. It's the dudes that are going to look at that and laugh, that will never have to worry about that shit. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. And as I say, this is a brilliant filter. All you got to do is just show this to a girl and be like, oh, you know, do you think this is reasonable? If she even so much as glances at it like it makes some damn sense, you know what time it is with her ass. As far as I'm concerned, don't take her seriously. Put her ass on the back burner. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there are women, I'm telling you right now, there are women who look at this and be like, no, I wouldn't mind going to the movies, or I wouldn't mind going to the gym, or I wouldn't mind going for a coffee date, or just, you know, like there are some of them on there I can understand, right? Like, I can understand, you know, saying that you don't want to go to, you know, a family function. Like, why the fuck would you invite someone on a first date to a family function? Like, that's fucking weird. You don't even know her and you're like, yeah, come in. Like, firstly, I don't think many guys are doing that, but if you are doing that, yeah, that is a bit strange. You know what I'm saying? That is a bit strange. But sports events, again, I wouldn't do that, but I would think that guy's probably shelling out a good amount of money for you to go to that, depending on the event. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a bar just for drinks is normal. That's a normal thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So what this really is this is women who think that they're, you know, somewhat on some next fucking level, and they think, yeah, you know, what do you mean a bar just for drinks? That's not good enough. Like, okay, all right, keep your ass single. You know what I'm saying? Or, because the thing is, the guys who are going to actually try to, like I say, go beyond this list, that's the guys they're not going to take as serious. That's the guys who they're going to really just play. It's in your best interest to not take this list seriously, to laugh at it, and to understand that if you are a guy that the woman desires, you will never have to worry about this bullshit ever. Okay? Ever. And let's be very clear, even if you do, even if a woman does come to you and is like, yeah, well, you can't take me to any of these types of places, so fucking what? And kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. If she's not interested in you because of some bullshit on here, so what? I promise you, especially if you're an attractive guy, there are plenty of women who have no issues going to all the motherfucking places on here, if not just most of them, okay? They'll have no problem, because they're not going to care about where they're going. They're going to care about who they're going with. They're going to care about the fact they get to spend time with you. That is the type of woman you want to be entertaining anyway. You don't want to worry about a woman who's more pressed about where she's going than who she's going with. You don't want that. You don't want that, because then she's not really interested in you. She doesn't have any real interest or desire in you. She just cares about what you can do for her. And don't get me wrong, every woman cares to some degree about what you can do for her. But if it's to that extent where this is such a big deal on a first date, nah, she needs to go. I'm sorry. There's too many women who are good looking, who are attractive, who are well mannered, that exist, that do not have these types of hang-ups. So if a woman's sitting here crying about this type of shit, especially most of these women out here who've already been to these types of places, so I don't know why they're acting like they're above it, right? There's many of them who are going to repost the shit, and literally in the next week they're going to be pulling up to, you know, fucking Wingstop, but they're going to act like as if, you know, they're above that. It's the funniest thing in the world to me. Whenever you see a list like this, man, just remember these two things. It does not apply to the guys they desire, and it is a brilliant way to filter out the women that you should not be taken seriously. You understand? Any woman who's making a list like this, contributing to a list like this, you don't need to be worrying about them. And if you encounter them, just keep it casual. If they, if you and her get together and she's sitting there, if you know some girl right now that you're dealing with, and she's like, yeah, I saw this list, yeah, it's true, blah 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 blah, you just be like, okay, you can challenge her on it depending on your dynamic or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you want to do, but just know her ass is staying in side quest mode. Let that be known. She's a side quest at best, and keep it like that. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off for today. Appreciate you guys for listening. Hit the like, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on this list and how you would approach it in the comments. Talk to you guys in the next one.